Hi, welcome to Myers Design Studio. I'm Leah Myers, and today we're going to talk about a block that I created. It is a maple leaf block with a um, signature block in the middle, and that would be the block E right here. And you can download this on the link below the video. I have a link on the bottom of the video where you can get the pattern. And I, to make it very simple, made templates for these for these for this block, for block one. That's what we're here to do for block one. And the way I prepared my templates, and you can do this too, I printed out the pattern, and then I cut out each of the shapes, and then I had template plastic, and I put double stick tape on top of the paper pattern, and then I put the template plastic on top so that you could still see the template underneath. And I cut out strips that corresponded to the shape of and I have one over here, sorry. I cut out a 4.5-inch strip. It was a lot longer than this. It was the width of fabric. And I just, okay, I'm going to use this one because, and likewise, like for this one, this isn't 4.5 inches wide, or you could do it this way too. Like you could cut a strip that is this wide, which will be about 6.5 inches. It's up to you on what size strips you want to put the templates on. But this one is the stem, so I don't need a lot of fabric. So I cut a really narrow strip, and that is, looks like it's about 2 inches. But anyway, you can cut the corresponding, like this is not very wide either. If you want to cut strips to match the template, so it's easy enough to cut it, to cut it this way. And the right size is nice because you could just place the template on top of the strip, and you've got the bottom all cut out already. All you have to do is cut 2 sides. And that is what I did. I just cut 2 sides. I used an additional roller so that I wasn't going to damage my template. I put the 1/4-inch line on top of that solid line, and I just cut the new pieces. And if the template moves, it's fine as long as the fabric stays in one spot. If you can to help you with this, you could use a rotating mat, which is, I did not. I just kind of lifted the fabric easily. And just to make it simpler, instead of doing 2 half square triangles at a time, do just one set at a time, and then just sew the pieces together. Okay. Oops. All right. That did not cut all the way, and I need to do it again. Make sure I have it right on the line. So anyway, you cut all your pieces that way so that you have your this is a triangle, and I don't know what this is, like a stop sign that's very long, but anyway, it's up to you how you want to cut these out. I find if I just make strips first and then put my template down, it's a lot faster. And then I just kind of use the template and carefully notch the ends. This is going to be hard for me, so I got to turn it and then reposition my template. I can't cut that way. Sorry. And this is the Heart of Heroes quilt. This is a quilt I designed for any occasion. that you want to make it for that require signatures, or you'd like to put signatures on something. Because let's face it, quilts are very personal. You can have a label in the back, but sometimes you want to express more than just the label, right? So anyway, I have these cut, and I have another set cut, and I didn't take the little edges off, but that's okay as long as you have a 1/4 inch overlapping on the end, and I'll show you what that looks like. That it will be fine, and that's right sides together. Oh, one is, one isn't. One's right, one's not. Like one's rounded and the other one's rounded. So let's just make it easy. I'll just copy the little piece I have down here and just go ahead and round. I may need to change my blade in my rotary cutter. It is giving me a little bit of a problem. And that's a good sign. If you want to, you know, if you're going along and then all of a sudden it's skipping, which it was skipping on me. And then I just go ahead and sew these together. Okay, so at first, I do the half square triangles on the outside first, which make up the leaves of the maple leaf. I sew the half square triangles first. And then I do the signature blocks next. The stem and the signature block in the center. And signature blocks are used for commemorating an event, or sometimes if there's a group of people making something for a special occasion, they'll put their names on it, like for a fundraiser. So this is the center. Just follow your diagram. This is the center, F and E now, right there. It's basically you're surrounding this little shape with triangles. And I didn't lop off the edges like I told you to do before, but that's fine. What I'm doing, if you didn't do that, just make sure you have a 1/4 inch out like this, and it should work out for you. And I'm going to have to cut this one. This machine is like crazy fast. Okay, so I'm not gonna lose my place here. I'm gonna grab the other little triangle and put that one on if I haven't misplaced it somewhere. I just had it. We're just working on this signature block. And then we'll have one more to construct the same shape, but it's supposed to be the stem of the leaf. And I did lop off the edges of this one, which it kind of goes faster if you do. So you're not guessing a 1/4 inch, but that's fine. Either way is fine. However you decide to sew it together, it's good. And I'm doing the templates so that it's a little more clear. And if you're a beginning sewer, you can, do it, put this together with templates. When I was beginning, I did a lot of template sewing, and that's what I did. I would just cut out the piece of paper, that's paper behind, and then I'd put it on a piece of template plastic. And then I used double stick tape to put the paper so it would stick to the plastic. And if I'm using a lot of templates and I have patterns, that's how I do it for this. And use the roller to help my rotary cutter. If they come up with template plastic that thick or thick enough for a rotary cutter to follow, that would be great. But you probably wouldn't be able to cut it at home. Okay, I'm going to stop and iron these and talk about how I'm going to construct this. I've sewn the first set together. Now I'm going to go ahead and pin these and sew the second set. And before I even start sewing, and after I've cut all of my pieces out, I will lay them out on a board. I'll lay them out on a board in the right order, and I do one block at a time to make it easy. Yeah, do one block at a time, and then follow the diagram and make sure you have them in the right order. And then I just pick up two at a time, and then I sew the next two. And now I'm ready to sew the next two, and then make the complete row. And I'll just complete this whole thing because we're having fun, and this is a beautiful machine. And I will just continue. So this is the Singer 319, of course. I may have mentioned that already. And it really, it's so quickly. What I've been told by my sister is that it's like a little home sewing machine that mimics or is like an industrial feel. It really has that industrial, like, solid feeling. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but it's if it's running smoothly and running right, my cutter is grabbing because it's not on a solid table. And I am getting wonky here. Okay, there we go. It just wants to go really quickly, and I need to slow it down a little bit. And it also helps not to sew while, don't keep pressing your foot on the pedal when there's nothing there. I just did one stitch with nothing there. That can be dangerous. So take your foot off the pedal. Yes. Anyway, so now I've got all these three sewn. Or well, I have in just 2 seconds. Okay. And now I'll take it off. And also, this one, I don't seem to have to hold the threads. It doesn't have a problem. Like the top and the other, some machines, if you don't hold the threads, the top thread will come out of the needle, and that's what happens. The top thread will come out, and it doesn't seem to be having that issue. It's very interesting. So now let's see if I can get this in the right order. Because earlier I had done another test block and I did not get it in the right order. And I sewed the whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and iron my seams in opposite directions. You can pick which direction you want. I'm having the seams go that way, and then I'll do them that way. And I think that's how I got it turned around, is when I was ironing it, I did not put it in the right place. Or I didn't put it in the same place I had it. I bet you that was it. When I was ironing, I probably flipped the middle one in the wrong way. So, no way am I doing that now. Okay, I did that one, that way. Do this one this way. But if that happens, most of the time I just take a break. I know I say that a lot, but I do. I take a break and I step away from the machine, because if I'm making mistakes like that, that means I'm tired, and it's a good indicator that you're tired. Okay, so I like to nest the seams. So one seam is going that way, and the other seam is going this way, and then I match that seam with the other one, and I do a I put a pin, not on the seam itself, but kind of diagonally across so it stays. And I do the same thing when I'm putting blocks together, nesting the seams like that. And at this stage, I do pin. I'll pin the ends as well, just a little bit, so that I'm not, the bottom fabric doesn't go, another direction. And I do at the end too. And it doesn't matter if it's a small block like this or a big quilt. I'll do the same thing. I'll pin so that it's real aggravating if you start sewing and then you find out the bottom fabric isn't even there. So I need my needle up, my threads free. Put the needle down, and I'm sewing a 2.5 inch seam. And the thing is with this machine, which isn't like the other one that I had, the Kenmore 37, is that I haven't even held my threads. It's just kind of, it just like wants to grab it. It's like, oh, I don't know, eat that fabric. It's really, it's very forceful. So it's a little different. It's a little not as gentle as some things, but it has good speed control as far as how it operates. It's got good speed control. So anyway, I'm gonna cut this and then I'm gonna iron it, and I'll be right back, and we'll just iron. So okay, all right. Now you set the seams first, then iron it back. Right. Set the seam, and then iron it back. And be careful not to scrub. Like, don't scrub. Just lightly. What I do is on the edge of the iron, I just kind of feel for the edge of the seam, and I kind of lightly go over it. And that's the way I do that, the strips we did before. So anyway, it's kind of satisfying. It's like getting the puzzle when you get one block, and it's 12.5 inch block. It's really big. And I was going to do a 16-inch block, but it just wasn't working out for me as far as how the quilt was coming together. And this is part of the outside, which I wanted to kind of, I don't have a picture, but I'll put a picture up here. At the outside of the heart resembles sort of like a tree, like a family tree type thing. And so that could be your family heroes. And then the heart would represent you, yourself. And inside the heart, all the people that influenced you. It could be your family. It could be heroes that you have in your life or whatever. Or you could put whoever you want on anywhere you want on the quilt. But that was kind of the way I designed it in my head, that the heart would represent you, the people in your life that influenced you, who made you who you are, and then your family tree outside supporting you, like a tree. But anyway, that's just how my mind works. That's how I came up with this design. It was like, what haven't I seen lately yet? What have I not seen out there in the internet, in magazines or in books or whatever? And to me, I thought a signature block would be great. And a signature block is what I decided. And I thought, well, why does it have to be that's why I like the leaf, because it was really more complicated. Because normally when I see signature blocks, they're real simple. And I thought, well, let's make them look like a little nicer and do that signature block. And so the other thing is, this is your quilt and you design it the way you want it. If you do not want to make a signature block at all, and you just want to make the quilt, just fill this in with the corresponding blank block, like this block. This is a 4.5 inch blank. Then just put it here. If you don't want to do a signature quilt at all, you just want to make a quilt with with a heart with the leaves around it. You don't, it is not set in stone that you make a signature quilt. You can do whatever you want. That is your option. And also inside that heart, just like my scrap quilt, if you've seen my scrap quilt video, the quick scrap quilt, you'll see that I designed a quilt that has 12.5 inches, right? Blocks, that is, 12.5 inch blocks. And if you have orphan blocks in still left over, you can set them inside that heart as well. Like you could just set a bunch of orphan blocks in there. You don't have to use the blocks that I designed to put inside. It would be pretty to have these on the outside, the leaves, but you don't, it's not set in stone. It's your quilt. You design it the way you want it. I'm giving you an idea, a template that you can, like, jump off from, spur ideas from. It is really up to you. So it's your quilt. So if you don't want to do signature blocks in the middle, just put like this one has the leaf. That leaf would go here, and just blank, just 4.5 inch, square, and you don't have to make that. I'm just giving people an option of, if they want to make a signature block quilt, that's great. If they don't, that's great too. It's just going to give you another idea. And if you've watched my quick scrap quilt idea, you can do the same thing. Like I made smaller blocks fit in that 12.5 inch frame. Do the same thing in that. You can put orphan blocks inside that heart, and then you're done. You're almost done because you already have blocks waiting, right? I had blocks waiting when I was doing that quick scrap quilt, so that is an option. It's I give you the idea, and you design it the way you want it because it's your quilt. Well, anyway, I look forward to seeing you next time. I appreciate you guys watching and subscribing. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to keep using the Singer 319 throughout making this quilt. And this one's got 12 of them, so you can keep working on these as you make the other blocks. I think there's like 3 or 4, and they're simple blocks. So you can kind of like, I started off with this one because there's a lot of them, and they're not hard to do, but there's 12 of them. So, and anyway, I look forward to hearing your comments, and if you have questions, that's fine. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time.